Yeah, I do great intros. Shut up. To steal or not to steal? That is it's a dumb question. Sorry, I'm stealing from Shakespeare. Anyway, SteelBooks are a thing. They're pretty cool. I think they are. You probably do too. Otherwise, why are you watching this video? I'm not saying go. I'm saying stay. I hope it to be an entertaining video, even if you don't know what SteelBooks are or you don't care about them. If you don't care about them, then that's its own thing. But hey, if you don't know what a SteelBook is, let me show you what the brand is. This is a SteelBook. This also happens to be landscape. It's my only landscape SteelBook. A SteelBook, usually positioned this way, with a spine and a backing, opens up like a book. It's a fucking DVD case, I'm sorry. And of course you come with your picture on the inside and a disc. Woo! Cool. That's a SteelBook. It's like a regular Blu-ray case, only crunchy. Jesus, I'm like full of catchphrases today. It also comes with what we call a J card. A J card, because it's in the shape of a J, usually, is a little cardboard slip that I call the bane of all of existence. This one's okay. This one is one of the few that are okay. The idea is, it of course comes with its original. When it comes with its original packaging, you know, it'll be all wrapped up like this, so you, as the audience, can look at it and be like, okay, so that's what the rating is. It's a Blu-ray disc, and on the back it has all these special features and tells me what everything is. It literally explains the film. That is like the back of every DVD cover. It's not anything unique. It just happens to be the SteelBooks, so SteelBooks can function with their art instead, which I think is a hell of a lot cooler, which most people think is a hell of a lot cooler. The worst kind of SteelBooks are either the ones with no backing, as in the back is completely blank, cough cough a later, or the other versions of Scott Pilgrim, where on the back of it, it's this, but printed on the back. I don't like that either, but that's not the point of today's video. This is actually my display item that's in my room right now. Outside of my Blade Runner 2049 HMV set, which is just the regular the slipcase version, not the steel case, and my Book of the Dead from Evil Dead. The reason I bought this is not because I have too much money. No, shut up. I love this film. I bought this SteelBook. Comes with a nice embossing, nice and shiny, cool backing, nice insides as I've already displayed. Why am I wanting to show you this SteelBook? Not as a way to brag that, hey, I have SteelBook, but because I spent 60 Australian dollars on it. Free shipping, luckily, thank you. I had never seen it by this stage. I had looked up a whole bunch of Scott Pilgrim SteelBooks because I was disappointed when I didn't buy the one that was fucking $15 goddamn on Zavvi. The good news is I've corrected that by spending $100 instead on the exact same thing, but it's the Everything Blue version, sealed. So that'll come in the mail in a few months. From Sweden. Jesus Christ. Even my dad thinks this is a cool display item. To be fair, he only just watched the film for the first time this year. But hey, he's watched it. That's a good thing. That's always a start. You know, you've got to start your addiction somewhere. So, SteelBooks are very collectible items. Arguably, I could say the same thing for pop vinyls. In fact, I can, so I might use them both as the examples for this video. SteelBooks and pop vinyls. They both have their arguments. They both have their arguments against them. Pop vinyls are just stupid little soulless toy crash grab things. I mean, yes, they are figurines, the cheapest that you can get, more or less. And yeah, no, their black eyes definitely make them soulless, and I'm staring at 9 of them right now. Actually, Jack's kind of cute. Anyway. The point is that these are items. I don't know what any criticisms against SteelBooks are. I've never heard any. Maybe. I mean, I used to not like SteelBooks. I used to think that they were dumb and you couldn't get the discs out and everything. But that's because we had the old DVD ones where you had to really press your thumb into it. Obviously, I've gotten over that. Just like with pop vinyls. I buy a lot more pop vinyls now. But as of recent, I have discovered a lot of fucking crazy ass bullshit when it comes to pop vinyls and SteelBooks. And these are what we call scalpers. Now, of recent, I will briefly mention it. For pop vinyls, San Diego Comic-Con. Virtual Con, it was all online. So when the big pop vinyls came out, they were exclusive in Australia to the pop culture store, because of course every other store got all the other regular ones, but there were some that were only limited to pop culture, which were mostly like the Funko Shop ones, because that's just how we get it in Australia. We get the Funko Shop ones only at pop culture. You had to wait in queue for at least 3 hours. I had to wait for 3 hours to get one pop vinyl. And it hasn't even come in the mail yet. And it's not even a San Diego comic. It doesn't even have the stick. It doesn't matter. The video is about SteelBooks. The point is that the reason why they had the queue was because a lot of people would buy a lot of them. You know, they get in there for 20 minutes, they'd fucking steal a lot of them. You know, imagine America on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, when they open up the floodgates and all the people come in, they all grabbing everything, whatever the hell they can. It's like that, but with a purpose. Not just basic consumerism. The same can go for SteelBooks. In particular, Savvy. In particular, Star Wars. I was one of the lucky ones to be able to get... To be fair, I live in Australia, so when they say, 12 p.m., British, London time is when we're going to release them to the red carpet members, and general public will get them in like at least 3 hours time, at most 6 hours time. Luckily for me, I get the same time as usually as the red carpet members, which means I don't have to fucking wait. I also don't get the red carpet benefits because I'm in Australia, so it's not like, say the latest Beetlejuice one where they're like, hey, you get this cool slipcase if you're, or the Goonies one where you're just a red carpet member. Nope, I just get the regular slipcase. So I was lucky in that regard. 6 p.m. on a fucking Thursday, I was gonna have dinner in a bit. Oh, hey, look, Star Wars is out. Fucking pre-order that bitch. It should be coming in the mail in a few weeks. It hasn't come in yet because I live in Australia, so it takes like 3 weeks after the dispatch usually. That's usually how it works. And I saw recently on a Facebook page, I think it's Everything Blue fans. It's a Blu-ray Steelbook sharing page. It's where we buy shit on Facebook. It's great, actually. I love it. I've bought 2 things from it now, free, and I'm going fucking insane. No, I bought 2. The other one I was going to buy, but I found a better one on eBay. Expect more deluxe edition, premium edition videos to come in the mail. And by the mail, I mean my mail and your YouTube. I'm really getting away from the point here, but I'm trying to get back to it. When I went onto this page, the first post I saw was this guy selling 20 copies of Star Wars A New Hope 4K Steelbooks that were only sold at Zavvi. Cue the frustration. What the fuck? Now look, luckily, yeah, I was able to still order one, and then I know that they had a restock about a month and a half later. I know that. But the point is, same with this San Diego Comic-Con thing, with the pop vinyls. People come in, usually bots, but mostly because people set up bots so the bots can buy a bunch of shit. And then they get delivered so they can sell it for double the price. Scalpers are a fucking nightmare. We all hate them. And this guy was... They turned off the comment section because everyone was fucking dissing on this guy. I don't know if anyone bought any of them. And now, to be fair, the price he was selling them for... In Australian dollars, I got mine for about $60-something, $63, I think it was. Because this is before the discount was applied, because it's like, now it's $56. They did that with the fucking prequel ones instead, bunch of assholes. So I got mine for about 63 Australian dollars, which is pretty good. It's not bad. That included shipping. I believe it included shipping. Yeah, pretty sure it did. If not $65 at the most. I mention this specifically because this guy was selling them for £60 with £10 shipping each. Now, to compare it to Australian dollars, that's pretty much double the fucking price. So it's about $120 to $140 for the whole shebang. Yeah. Now look, they already had this shit on eBay where they had a lot of pre-orders, like, what is it? People were selling the same fucking Star Wars ones on pre-order before they'd even been released, before the announcement date for when they were actually going to be released was, because they had already scalped fucking 20 of them. Now, of course, Savvy did end up implementing rules, much like with pop culture does, where you're restricted to only 1 or 2 versions of the thing each. Luckily, if you're buying one for yourself, maybe one for a friend, say it's a pop vinyl or a SteelBook, fine. They probably don't care. The point is that these people are buying truckloads of this shit to resell them for double the price. And it's an easy way to make money. It's a dog shit way to make money, because this is, of course, implies that people are going to buy it, mostly out of desperation, because obviously there are going to be the obvious people who are going to be angry as fuck, like myself, of course. I'm lucky that I was still able to buy all of these things that I wanted and whatever. I was lucky, waiting 3 hours for the pop vinyl. I still was able to buy it. I didn't have to wait for the fucking Star Wars SteelBook. I bought it immediately. But I only bought one. Bought one for myself. That was all. I've seen people on Reddit be like, hey, I don't think it was Reddit actually, I think it may have been Facebook Marketplace. They were like, hey, I'm selling this Star Wars SteelBook, still wrapped up in new. I'm selling it at the regular retail price that I bought it for. I bought a second copy for myself, just in case the first one came in damaged. A lot of people doing that for insurance measures, I'm personally okay with that. If someone buys 2, one to make sure that it's, none of them are damaged. If one of them's damaged and the other one's not damaged, then hey, look, they're keeping 2 and they've spent double the amount of money. That kind of sucks on their part, but I doubt they'll be able to successfully sell a damaged SteelBook. Unless it's like a minorly damage, but then Star Wars SteelBooks with their perfection, Star Wars SteelBook fans are probably big-ass fucking perfectionists for that kind of shit. I still have anxiety with the whole idea of, oh my god, it could come in damaged. Anyway, let's not talk about that. That wasn't even meant to be like a roast on Star Wars SteelBook fans. Fucking anyone who's a SteelBook fan is like always anxious that their shit's gonna come in damaged. I know the feeling. I've had one come in damaged, and I'm gonna do a video on it after this. The point is that SteelBooks and pop vinyls are obviously collectible things. If they're only done in a limited quantity, people are gonna go fucking crazy for them. The Scott Pilgrim SteelBook I bought for $60. It was still wrapped in its original plastic. It came out 3 years ago. How the fuck did it take this long for this person to sell it? Maybe they were waiting for the market value to go up enough because other Scott Pilgrim SteelBooks are still available. I'd never seen this one before, and I was like, oh my god, I'm immediately driven to this. I want to get this. Luckily, I was able to get it from a guy in Australia. Again, free shipping. And $60, is it a lot? Yeah. Am I getting any upgrades for the film? No, I've got the exact same Blu-ray, exact same disc. I've just got a slipcover version. I've just spent like another $100 to get another version. Oh my, actually it was $100, no, it was like $70, because it was like pretty much the same price I would have spent for the regular Everything Blue. $50, I spent like $65 I think on it, so pretty much for almost the exact same price I'm getting a more deluxe edition version. The point is and this is even, again, still wrapped in its original plastic. What I'm trying to get at is that SteelBooks are so collectible that people, may buy multiple versions so they can sell, for double their price. They're the worst kind of people. The most interesting people I find, which can sometimes possibly include myself, but probably not, are those who buy the SteelBooks for the factor of, hey, look at this, isn't it cool? It's on my shelf, I love it. It's one of my favorite films, or maybe I just really like the SteelBook, and I'm going to keep it. That's perfectly valid. That's the best person to be like, hey, look at my SteelBook, it's beautiful. If it's something more than just a regular SteelBook in its packaging, if it was more of a deluxe thing, like I hesitated to take Scott Pilgrim out of its plastic, because I'm like, but do I want to? But it's like, yeah, but I bought it to look at it, to admire the casing. I didn't buy it to look at it in fucking plastic. Half of the packaging was the cardboard slip. That's not what I bought it for. And I can understand that there are people who, go out of the way to get a Manta Lab or a HMV or whatever the frackin' doodles kind of really big premium set, whether it be a one-click or just an individual thing for a film, and they keep it in the plastic. Maybe in a few years' time they will decide, hey, the hype for this is gone, I'm going to sell it in its original plastic. Fine, some people will be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking get that because I've always wanted one. And you know what they're going to do? Like myself, when my next big package comes in, assuming it comes in and doesn't get lost in the mail, because holy fuck, I'd have a heart attack. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take it out of the plastic. Do you know why? And this isn't a criticism. Look, if you keep yours in your plastic, fine, you do you. But I want to admire what I've bought. You know, I've ordered 3 different things. One's Scott Pilgrim, one is Birdman, one is Alien. Scott Pilgrim's in its original plastic. I definitely plan to take it out of its plastic. That's the Everything Blue version. Birdman is... was it Mandelab or Cinema something? I can't remember what exactly it was called, but it was the same deal as Alien. They were done by the Cinema Museum or someone like that. It's the Czech Republic one. They did these great sets. Someone was selling... So, there were 2 different people, one selling Birdman and one selling Birdman. They were both the exact same things. One person had already opened it. They had never watched it. They had never touched it outside of opening it and looking at it. The other person had left it in its original plastic. I decided to go for the €9 cheaper one, which was, of course, the one that had already been opened. They sent me pictures, everything looked great. Hunky-dory. If it comes in fucked, well, hey, at least it was cheaper. The thing in its original plastic could still be fucked. You know, you don't know. That's just how it goes, especially with SteelBooks. I hate it when you buy something in a SteelBook and it's wrapped in its original plastic in an extra case, and the case is fine, it's beautiful, not touched at all. But then the SteelBook is still fucked. It's like, how does that happen? I hate that. So I don't have to worry about the Birdman one. It's already open for me, so I can just appreciate it what it is. It's beautiful. I love it. It's one of my favourite films from this past decade. Alien, on the other hand, is my 3rd favourite film of all time. So it's kind of a big deal to find this version. And now I spent a bit more money than I would have on one that this guy was selling on Facebook. I think I spent $13 more. Yeah, I spent $13 to $15 more on a still mint-in plastic version from Japan. It's still the exact same thing as what the other guy was selling. The only reason I didn't buy what the other guy was selling wasn't because he'd taken out of its plastic, but it was because he'd removed something from the whole set. I will show you when it comes in the mail, but pretty much there was a very important thing that looked amazing. And now this can also be said for a lot of deluxe editions that you can find on eBay still wrapped in plastic that are selling with SteelBooks, but say they don't have the SteelBook because instead they have the outer box, they have the extra inclusives, but they don't have the SteelBook. Instead, the SteelBook has been removed and replaced with this kind of bubble wrap thing inside to keep everything perfectly conditioned. And it's cool, so I'm spending $80 on the packaging and not the SteelBook. Interesting. I mean, if you already have the SteelBook, I guess it doesn't matter. Especially if you just want those bonuses, you know. Assuming most of the bonuses don't come in the SteelBook itself. So that's its own thing. But this Alien one did have a particular thing. Fuck it, I might as well say it. It has a lenticular. The lenticular is fucking awesome. I even showed it to my best friend. She's like, that is really cool. And in my mind, spending an extra $15 to get that lenticular, as well as getting the whole thing wrapped in plastic, never been touched, is a lot more important to me than buying it from someone who, even though he'd unwrapped it from its plastic, had taken away the lenticular. It even said, no lenticular, when the guy was selling it on the description. I literally asked him, does this come with a lenticular? And he said no, and had an exclamation mark. He said, but he worded it differently, so it wasn't just no, fuck off. It was simply yeah, that was the gist of it though. Not the fuck off part, just the no. And so I, of course, decided, I'm good. I'm just going to go with this other one on eBay because it comes with the lenticular. So at least when I can untangle it from its plastic, I can look at it and be like, this was fucking worth it. And that's just the end of the deal. Is it worth it to take something out of its plastic? I think so. Is it worth it to keep it in its plastic for the potential availability of reselling? This is a really conundrum thing for me, especially because, like, you know, I'm looking at shit like pop vinyls and stuff, and again, San Diego Comic Con had one that was really and particularly important for people, which was Goku, which was like Super Saiyan God Goku or some shit. It's crazy. I would have bought one for my older brother, but I was kind of concerned. Also, I didn't think he'd pay me back, so I was like, what the fuck's the point? I could have bought one and then proceeded to sell it a week later for maybe almost double the price. Because that's what people are doing. That's what people are doing. Like, for cons like this, people on the Facebook page that I'm attached to were just like, if you're buying the stuff from the con, and you know, from San Diego Comic Con stuff, from Pop Culture or whatever other store, and it comes in, you can't sell it for a week on this page. Can't just be an easy, done, you know, I bought it, now I'm selling it, now it's done. Luckily, it's not like eBay where they will sell it for double the price and just wait for someone to buy it. This is obviously Facebook Marketplace, so some people will buy it, you know, but there's a lot more chance that people will see it because it's like, hey, I got this one, plus all these other random ones. But, hey, if you want this one in particular, it's here. It's like, why the fuck do people do that? Like, I know a lot of people might not have the ability to, or the opportunity to buy a pop vinyl or a steelbook, and then to be able to, you know, they might not have the ability to do it at the time. Maybe they don't have any money. Maybe they're waiting for the next paycheck, especially given the hard times we're in right now. Maybe they have work, or they're sleeping because they're in a different country. Whatever the point be, yeah, maybe it's better that someone else buys it, and they end up buying it from them. I'm lucky in this case I was pissed off as hell when I found out, you know, when Everything Blue had their sale and I got Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead, when I found out that Scott Pilgrim had existed, I was like, why didn't I know about this? And then I found out, of course, about the Czech Republic site. Holy shit, did I had a breakdown. Not really, but like, I found out about the Blade Runner set. I found out about the Mission Impossible Rogue Nation set. I found out about the Alien set. I found out about all these, and they came out in fucking 2017. I'm thinking to myself, why? You know, why can't I have this stuff? So, of course, I'm in that phase of, hey, I can finally get around to it because I now have access to finding these things, you know. You know, I'm going on these pages now, I'm a part of these groups that I can buy and sell and trade these things with, and it's like, holy shit, I had no idea these pop vinyls for this thing existed, or the steelbook for this film existed, or this really great looking fucking set that I end up saying, you know, I might see it and immediately be like, hey, is this available, and then go and check a YouTube video. You know, so at least the person, the buyer, the seller knows that I am interested in it. Maybe they'll wait a second while I do a whole bunch of research to find out if this is what I really want, and then realize, yeah, no, it's what I want. Give it to me, baby. And that's pretty much the question for you. Hi, are you a steelbook collector or a pop vinyl collector? Do you think it's worth it for other people to buy a fuck ton of shit of the one version and then sell it for double the price? Do you think it's okay if they sell it for the regular price, or just a bit more, so they're at least making a profit out of it? Do you think it's right at all? Do you think it's right for someone to buy a steelbook, or pop, well, not really pop vinyl, because, I mean, arguably the same thing can be said for pop vinyl if you keep it in its box the whole time, you know, because it has obviously more market value, and same with a steelbook has more market value if you keep it in its plastic the whole time. When I bought Scott Pilgrim, it was in its original plastic, the shrink wrap. It was also in a, like, they have little envelopes where you can put it in an envelope that's like foam envelope wrapped in in a cardboard box wrapped in bubble wrap in another package, and then in a bigger package. That's how well they had wrapped it. I've had pop vinyls that are really expensive come in the, like over $40 come in the mail in huge ass boxes with it's in a plastic container surrounded by bubble wrap with an extra box surrounded by newspaper in an extra box with then like paper around it so you know you can write down the name and shit. It's crazy the lengths that people go. I mean, I love the fact that people go to crazy lengths to deliver shit like that, and I love it. It's amazing. I love it. It's the best thing in the world. Especially if it's free shipping. Free shipping, like, I pretty much paid $20 for shipping. Almost. So it's like, I kind of got it for a really good deal. But at the same point, it's like, why do you buy a SteelBook or a... I mean, I don't mind... Fuck the pop vinyls. Why do you buy a SteelBook just to keep it in its plastic? Is it because you like the idea of having it and then you know that a few years later you can sell it for a fuck ton more money? I don't know what the hell the deal is. And that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be one of those people who ends up being like, I can get that pop vinyl or that SteelBook, or I could get a fucking ton more of those Star Wars SteelBooks, just buy a few more orders of it. Then I could just sell them later for like double the price. That could be a good monetary purchase for me. Yeah. But no, I'm not an asshole. I go to work like a normal person. I don't mind people selling their stuff on eBay, you know. Again, you do your own shit. But I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to look at something and be like, I'm going to buy multiple versions to sell them. So obviously I'm not going to be a scalper. I don't want to be. I don't like the idea of it. But I also don't like the idea of buying something just for the idea of selling it later. Like, even if it's just like one individual thing, hey, I can buy this for a really cheap price compared to what it usually is, and then I can sell it for like double the value because that's what it is really like on the market, you know? I've bought, for example, some pop vinyls. I bought 2 in one set that this person was selling. They were selling it for a really good price. Pretty much, okay, let's put it in perspective. Say that they were selling it for $100, $50 each, including shipping. Actually, maybe it was $10 shipping. Let's just say $10 shipping. So ignore the shipping factor, but it's $50 per figurine. But one of them, normally on the market, goes for $30 to $40. That's not bad. That's all right when you think about it that way. But then the other one goes for $120 to $150, and you're like, holy fuck, it's a steal. You know, that's just its own thing. I don't know. I don't want to sound too critical at 1:30 in the fucking morning, but I don't mind people. I guess to some degree it's okay if you're going to buy it to keep it in its plastic, to just leave it on its shelf. I keep it in its pristine edition because that is what means more value to me. Does it mean more value to you because you think it's cooler because it's in original plastic, or do you think it means more value to you because you know that in a few years you can sell it for a fuck ton of money? I think it's a bit of both. Personally, I just like to take shit out of their plastic, you know? That's how life is for me. I like to adore and look at the thing that I already have. If it comes with plastic that I can take off and put back on again, yeah, sure. Fine, but I don't need to, you know? It's like how pop vinyls come with... You can get plastic containers for them. They're like $2 each or whatever the shit, you know? Or like a 10-pack is $10 or some shit, you know? It's just a nice little thingy, a little packaging to keep it safe, whether in delivery or just from shelf life, you know, from light or from dust or from dirt or from someone punches it. And the same thing can be said for SteelBooks, you know. There are people who go out of their way to buy these extra plastic casings to protect their SteelBooks. It's kind of nice, actually. I like that. That's a nice idea. I don't know if I'll do it myself, but it's a nice idea. Anyway, what do you think of all this shit? Do you think it's kind of a mess? Do you think this whole video is a mess? I think it is. Look, if you're a SteelBook or pop vinyl collector, do you hate scalpers? Do you think it's a bad idea to only have the thought process of, I'm going to buy this because I like it, but I will probably sell it later? You know, that's a dog move in my mind. You know, I'm not buying this shit because I'm going to think, oh, in a few years I could sell that, or in a few months I could sell that. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm buying it because I want it, and I want to keep it. Maybe if over time, over a couple months or a couple years, I realize, I don't want it anymore. I'll sell it. And good for you. I think that's called a natural progression of life. It's called moving the fuck on. That's what people do. It's human. It's just wrong to be like, I'm going to buy this because I want it, but I could sell it for double the price later on. That'd be really cool. And that's the topic of today's video. Thanks for watching. Adios. This playlist here, maybe.